back to another episode of Addicted to Quitting, where we're focusing on quitting the habits that no longer serve us so we can elevate our health, our habits, and our happiness. I am your host, Gentry, a divorced mom to 4 boys, and currently going through a really overwhelming, hard time in my life. And as a life coach, as a recovery coach, I struggle sharing this side because I feel guilty, I feel ashamed, I feel like it loses credibility as a coach. But I think it's important for me to maintain my honesty, and the honesty about the situation right now is that I am struggling, and I want to talk about it. And I know we're not supposed to teach from open wounds, and so I'm not necessarily trying to teach today. I'm trying to relate and trying to share my experience so other people know that they're not alone. And so if you're ready for this conversation, stick around. And hi. Okay, so I am going to play the podcast episode that I recorded, but I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Gentry, and I am 24 hours later Gentry. So 24 hours after, or a little over 24 hours after recording this podcast, I wanted to show where I'm at. And I think that this is a really, really important and valuable lesson in anybody that struggles with depression, anxiety, mental health, ADHD, whatever it might be. How we can overcome it. We can come to the other side. But I also think that it's really, really important to share this episode, because when you're in the middle of these moments, it is so incredibly hard to see past them. And this is something that kept me trapped in addiction for a really long time. This is something that used to keep me trapped in depressions for weeks. You can hear it in my voice, the guilt and the shame and the sadness and the frustration. And so much of that comes from guilt and shame, just feeling guilty as a mom that I'm not showing up as good as I maybe could be, feeling like my kids deserve more, guilty to myself, feeling like I'm just in this survival space, feeling overwhelmed by my responsibilities, feeling a sense of sadness and loneliness. Um, um, I take it all on because I feel a lot of shame if I let other people down. And if the only person I'm letting down is myself, that feels less heavy than other people being involved and being affected by my inability to show up. I talk about in this episode the feeling of wanting to run away, and I was afraid to share this. Actually, I sat on this for a day. I guess not a lot of time, but I sat on it for a day because I was like, man, is this going to be really taken wrong? Am I going to be judged severely for the fact that I said, like, I want to run away from my kids. But so much of that isn't about wanting to run away from my kids or not wanting them to be worthy. It's more of this feeling of like not being worthy for them, not being able to provide enough for them, not being able to give them the life that I was hoping I could give them. And all of this negative thinking that was going on in my brain just was on replay, which they've done studies that depression is basically that, playing these negative thoughts in your brains on replay. And I committed in my episode yesterday that I recorded 24 hours ago. And you can see, like, today I'm already feeling so much better. I'm feeling stronger. I'm feeling more confident. I got stuff done this morning. It's crazy to think that when I look back and edited this video this morning, I was like, man, this was just yesterday. But that's how powerful struggling with mental health is like, it can take me to these really, really sad and dark and heavy places. And I just feel so much guilt and shame and and just like I'm not showing up for people the way I should. Like just I can really replay these things in my head over and over and over to the point of being paralyzed in depression. And it was 2 days of this. And I talk about this in the episode about things I was doing to try and get out of it, but I want to just reiterate those things because I think that this is really, really important and really powerful to my sobriety, to my mental health struggles. I'm not on any antidepressants anymore. I went off them probably about a year and a half now. I've gone off the antidepressants and tried to work through these things like organically and naturally. And so I have an amazing therapist, and we do phone calls, so I don't actually have to go into her office. And so I had her on speed dial and I connected with her. I've also had coaches like this too, where I was able to connect with coaches. I have friends that I reached out to during this. My partner was amazing, super supportive, and I was feeling very, very unworthy of support and very like, I feel like I have to be perfect. And so he was amazing. My community. So just connecting with my communities. So I told you guys in this episode, which you're going to hear in a minute, I'm going to play it. I think I'm stalling because I do think that there's going to be things that I said that are going to be judged, like saying that I wanted to run away from my house and burn it down. And I was just so tired of carrying it all. And this is the same types of feelings I had when I was drinking. And then I would go on binges because of it, just feeling like I was unworthy of being their mom. I was unworthy of these things. And in my sick, unhealthy thinking during those times, it's like, I can't take care of them. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy of being their mom. Like they're not getting what they deserve. They're not getting what they need. So in this episode that I'm about to play, I talk about the importance of moving your body. And this is something I talk about in my programs. It's something I talk about with my clients. It's something that I'm like super passionate about. But when I'm in this headspace, it takes every ounce of energy to do the simplest task. And I was on the phone with my boyfriend yesterday, and I love him so much. I'm on the phone, I'm crying. And as I'm crying, I'm like forcing myself to put on my tennis shoes and go outside. It took me all day to finally be like, okay, I'm going to go for a walk. And it felt so heavy to just go outside and go for a walk, which feels insane even today. And this is what's so scary about my brain, and so it's scary about depression, and so scary about anxiety and ADHD and addiction, because my brain can just, it could be my greatest asset or my greatest liability. And we all have those two wolves. And some of you guys are like me, and it's a very, very strong wolf on this side that is like, it wants to take me down. There's like, it wants to take me down. And so I really have to feed this other wolf. I really have to be actively feeding this other wolf. I have to stay on top of my workouts. I have to stay on top of my nutrition. I have to stay on top of my organization, because when those things start to get out of whack, I get overwhelmed. I get depressed. This wolf is like, hey, we've been waiting for you to feel shame. We've been waiting for you to feel guilt. We've been waiting for you to feel tired. We've been waiting for you to feel these unhealthy, negative emotions, because we're just going to capitalize on that right now. But moving my body, I think, is what really finally kind of like pushed me. I went outside, I got some fresh air, and it's so simple. But if you've gone into these dark places of depression, you know that it's not that easy. And so I just want to encourage anyone who is feeling like 24 hours ago Gentry is feeling right now. I want you to hear me today. I want you to see me today. And I want you to be like, okay, I just have to push myself to do the damn thing that I don't want to do, but I know will work. And get out of my house and get some fresh air, call a friend, talk it out, do the things that are going to help me that I don't want to do, because this wolf, this depression, this anxiety, this guilt, this shame, this embarrassment, this stress, this wolf wants me. I feel crazy. I feel crazy in these moments. I feel and I feel crazy even sharing this, to be like, oh, 24 hours, I feel so much better. I'm not like completely on my super, super healthy, happy side yet. But I do feel more like I could handle the things that are going to come my way, which I did not feel yesterday. or the day before. And so it's embarrassing to share these things because it's like, man, I feel like a crazy person. But I also think that I'm not the only one that feels this way. And I'm like, am I doing you guys a disservice if I don't share the reality that I preach habits, routines, structure, mindset, because I have this demon in my mind that is trying to tear me down. It tried to feed me alcohol. It's tried to feed me chaos. It's tried to feed me guilt. It's tried to feed me all these things. Like, it wants to destroy me. And it makes me feel crazy. It makes me feel crazy even sharing that right now. But I know that there's somebody that's hearing this. It's like, I'm so glad that I can see somebody out there in this world trying to do her best, trying to show up for her kids, and doing the damn thing. Like, I'm not a bad mom. Yesterday, I couldn't have said that. I'm like, I'm the worst mom in the world. They don't deserve this. I don't think I'm a bad mom. I think I do my best. I don't think I'm a bad partner. Didn't believe that yesterday. I thought, why would you want to be with me? Just leave me alone. Just go find somebody else that's younger and prettier. And all this stuff I believed yesterday. And I know I'm not the only one that has these moments. So I think that it's important for me to show it and share it. Because I think that it's important for you guys to know that you're not alone. So I'm going to stop yapping because I am totally like trying to not deflect. I'm going to stop talking because I know that my rambling right now is me trying to avoid having to actually send you guys to the episode that I recorded yesterday. But I just ask you to listen to this episode with grace, with compassion, and try to judge free, because it is vulnerable and it is real. And if you don't relate to this, I just hope that you can have empathy for the fact that other people might. So if you're like, stop being such a baby, stop being such a victim, get up. I mean, that's fine. You're entitled to your own opinion. I'm putting myself out there to be judged. I'm putting myself out there to be criticized, and people that don't understand it is really hard to understand. I get that. So I just ask that you try to be kind. So I appreciate you guys. I love you. Here is the episode that I recorded in the middle of a depressive episode. Y'all, I didn't even set up my mic right now. We are winging it. I think that the camera is kept picking up the sound. That's how behind I am. So the last couple of days, I've been really struggling with my mental health and have found myself stuck in my bed crying a lot. I've reached out to my counselor because I think it's really, really important to do the things that you know are going to make you feel better when you're struggling. And I think if anything comes from this is just keep pushing forward. Everything in me right now is just it's too much. It's too hard. Give up. Walk away. Shut down. Sell the house and move to a freaking camper or buy a camper and live in a tent down by the river. Get rid of all the stuff. I'm just so overwhelmed with my finances, trying to carry these houses and trying to carry the kids' activities and trying to carry there's just the responsibilities. I'm just so overwhelmed. And in that overwhelm, even though it's hard to get up, yesterday I put my workout clothes on and it's I'm gonna work out today, and I didn't. I wore my workout clothes in bed all day long. I put them on again today. And I told you guys this was going to be super raw and real. I put them on again today. And I'm going to push myself to work out today. And I talked to my counselor yesterday afternoon. But I want to talk about how heavy it is to carry it alone. It just feels really, really heavy. And I think that I'm learning that I'm trying to do life without a spotter. So if you work out, I think this is a good example of what it feels like But if you're really trying to build your muscles, you're really trying to grow, you're really trying to get healthy, you're really trying to get efficient, you want to be stronger, stronger, stronger. When you're working out with a partner, there's different things that happen with that. So when we're working out with a partner, they have an ability to kind of motivate you to show up, right? When somebody else is there and showing up, it motivates you to show up. And so having that partnership helps with motivation. It also helps with building the muscles. When we are pushing ourselves, and I know I have a spotter, I'm willing to put on more weight on that rack so that I could try it. And if I fail, somebody's there to catch me. And I am trying to build, trying to grow. I'm trying to have the things I want to have the mindsets I want to have the business I want to have the relationships with my kids I want to have, be able to maintain the house the way I want to maintain it. And I'm trying to do all of that without a spotter. So as I'm adding more weight and as I'm trying to grow and as I'm trying to get stronger, if I fail, I'm just drowning in the weight. And it's like you start to play life safe when you don't have a spotter. And I've been playing it safe on things, and I'm and I'm really frustrated with that. And I'm really sad about that because it's like it'd be awesome. It'd be awesome to be like, if I try this weight and it doesn't work, I have somebody that can help pick up that weight for me. Like but when we're single, when we're divorced, when we don't have a partner in life or partner in business or partner in like a community, which is why I started my community. Like honestly, having this community has been so helpful because we meet on Sundays and we go over things, and I talk about things I'm struggling with in this community. Like I think this is important for me as a life coach to also maybe share this, because it's like I didn't go to get sober, get my life coaching and recovery coaching certificates, start studying and working with all these people, and because I'm all of a sudden like perfect and have it all figured out. But I know what works. I know community works. I know like having spotters works, and it helps. We're all going to show up and do life together. But that doesn't mean I do it perfectly. That means I'm still get overwhelmed. I still get stressed out. I'm still battling depression. Like I'm still battling depression, and I'm still battling overwhelm. I'm still battling stress. I'm still battling guilt. And I think that the guilt that I have around having these moments because of my life coach, I have to let go of, because I never want to I would never want to preach to my clients that they have to be perfect to be worthy. Like you're worthy even if you do struggle sometimes. You're worthy even if you do have anxiety or depression or overwhelm or whatever. But like I think the biggest thing that I'm struggling with right now is feeling like I have been forced to kind of play things safe, because not forced, it's a choice. I guess it's a choice, but I've tried to carry weight that I can't carry alone without a spotter. It causes a lot of damage. Like I can hurt myself, I can fall, the weight could fall on me, and I'm trapped. Like it's a totally different feeling to push yourself when you have a spotter. And so I'm like, it's just heavy. It's just heavy to carry it. And I'm feeling overwhelmed. I feel like if I'm not spending all my time and energy keeping the house up and taking care of my kids and growing my business, I fail. Which may or may not be true. That's just how I'm feeling. This is just my feelings right now, you guys. I told you this was going to be a raw and real episode where I wasn't going to bullshit you. I'm not going to bullshit you. Like, oh, just have better habits. I'm doing that, right? Like I put on my workout clothes. Like, okay, at least put on the workout clothes. Try to get yourself outside, move. And yesterday I got on a phone call with my counselor. I was like, okay, I'm not doing things to get better. But I think that sometimes when we think like that I should be, we're not giving ourselves enough grace to build up to that. You know what I mean? Like yesterday I wasn't there. I wasn't there. Today I do have workout clothes on again, and I'm planning on going and working out. Maybe I should have worked out before I did this recording, before I did this episode. But it's heavy. It is so heavy, and to do things without a spotter, without a support system, it's either crushing, or you just play it safe. You don't add more weight. You don't add more challenges. You don't add the things that are going to help you grow, because if you fail, you don't know if you'll survive that. Like, it feels like you don't know if you could survive that. And I think that's why, like, community is so freaking important. Like, it's so freaking important. It's so important. It's and it's so hard when you're in this headspace. And so maybe me doing this podcast episode that was so not typical of, like, here's all the steps and tools and resources to level up and to be your best self. It's like, you know what? Some days we can't. Like, some days we just can't. It's just too heavy. And that's okay. Like, I think that what I want you guys to know is that it's okay that some days you can't. And I think I'd rather keep trying to push myself to carry weights, so I can grow, than keep playing it safe. But, like, trying to find that balance is just really hard when you're on your own. So I'm thankful for my community. I can't wait to see you guys on Sunday and be like, all right, well, I had a week. But yeah, I honestly have fantasized, and I know I'm not alone in this, and this is going to sound so bad. But it's like, I want the house to burn down. Like, I fantasize about, like, okay, if this was just gone, and I could not be so tied to the responsibilities of this house, and I could just breathe. Like, maybe I could just catch my breath for a second. And that sounds so bad. Like, who says they don't want to have their kids? Because it's not that I don't want my kids, it's that I don't want the invisible labor of all of that. I'm so exhausted from it, and it feels so invisible, and it feels so suffocating. And then I feel so guilty that I can't do it all. Like, I want my babies. I just want to be able to provide them a mom that they deserve. And it sometimes feels like I can't. Like, and that is so hard. Like, I want them to have the childhood they deserve, and I want to have the motherhood I deserve. And we're not getting it. We're not getting it right now. And so sometimes it feels like running away and hiding would be just kind of like this breath of fresh air. And that's horrible to say. Horrible to say as a mom. And I hope my kids don't think, like, I don't love them and I don't want them. I do want them. I just want to be able to give them what I wish I could give them. And it's really hard. It's just really hard to do life without a spotter. Like, it's just really hard to not feel like you have, like, someone in your corner. And I should be connecting more with friends. I should be reaching out with my community more. And I honestly am going to try and connect with my community a little bit better. But I also feel like there's just, like, the time restraints of where I'm at, and feeling like I already don't have enough time is really causing me a lot of stress and anxiety about investing my time into things that aren't going to be good, like cleaning my house or organizing my house or bettering my house or bettering my business or bettering my income or bettering my kids. Like, it's hard for me to think outside of those three things. Like, if it doesn't involve the good of the kids, if it doesn't involve the good of the house, if it doesn't involve the good of the finances, it is a waste of time in my mind right now. And when I'm in that headspace, it's really hard to like be like, I need to work out. I need to connect with people. But really that's what I probably need to do the most, is just like, I need to just move my body. I need to connect with people outside of this stress ball I'm in, and realize that it's probably not as big of a deal as I'm making it in my head. I'm probably not as far behind as I'm kind of letting myself feel. I'm probably not as bad as a mom as I'm beating myself up for right now. But when we're in those headspaces, it's really hard to see past that, which is why I talk about these things. I talk about like what I do to get out of them. And I did my counseling, and I'm put on my workout clothes, and I'm going to push myself to work out, and I'm going to reach out to my community, and I'm going to do the things that I know will help. I'm going to find one thing to clean today, like my health. I'm going to move my body, my habits. I'm going to find one thing to work on, and my happiness. I'm going to try and reach out to some people, physically in my community, and also with my online community. But it sucks, and it's overwhelming, into like to the hopelessness and the guilt and the shame of wanting to run away from your life, not because you don't love your kids or love being there for them, but just because you feel so suffocated by all the invisible duties of everything that you're struggling to cope. I don't want to run away because I don't love my kids. I want to run away because I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it all. Told you guys this was gonna be real. I told you it was gonna be real and raw. And it's ugly. It's ugly. This side is ugly. And so people don't show it. They don't talk about it. And so we suffer in silence. We suffer in parenthood in silence because it's too ugly to share. And that makes me so sad for people. It makes me so sad. So I just felt like it was important for me to just be honest. Yes, I have things that I put in place. Yes, I'm working on things. Yes, I've grown a ton in my recovery. These depressive episodes would last, I'm not even exaggerating, weeks of like moping through. If I went to work, which I would skip work a lot. If I went to work, I would mope through work. And it'd be weeks until I came out of them. And now it's like, okay, day one of just being a bundle of tears was a phone call to the counselor and put on my workout clothes. That's growth, you guys. So it's not about being perfect. It's not about never having bad moments. It's not about never thinking or feeling the things that you're ashamed of thinking and feeling. It's about putting in the work to kind of, how quickly can we get past this so that we don't have to live in this any longer than absolutely necessary. Yeah. So I held on, and I'm going to keep holding on. I'm not going to run away. I'm not going to sell my house and live in a camper, though I really, really want to right now. I'm not going to abandon my kids. And I don't want to. That one's I don't want to. It just, that feeling is more of just like a feeling of like failure and overwhelm. Not that I want to abandon my kids. I want to abandon the invisible labor of it all. Like, I want to break from it. Yeah. I don't know what my point of this podcast episode was, other than just to pull back the curtains. I think it's so important to pull back the curtains. I think too many people are out there preaching perfection, and it's just like, shut the up. Shut the F up. Nobody is doing this perfectly. And if you are, like, are you happy doing it perfectly all the time? Because it seems like you would be kind of obsessive. Because I've done things perfectly. I've been like really on top of everything, and it wasn't fun. I wasn't and this isn't fun. I'm not saying sitting here crying, telling you guys that I sat in bed all day yesterday. I was working. I was I was working. I was working on emails. I was working on stuff. It just wasn't as like my best work. I wasn't in a happy, healthy headspace. And I'm doing what I can to get out of that. And I'm embarrassed that these moments are still happening for me. And I'm like, when is it gonna plateau? When is it going to get better? And I know so much of that has to do with me and my mindset, which is why I kind of default back to the things that I know work, like reaching out to my counselor. Like literally yesterday I was reviewing my own freaking courses. like okay, what do I tell people to do to get out of these funks, because I need to get out of this funk. But I also think it's important to I just am so tired. I just don't want to be the coach that's like that has to be pretend like I'm perfect. I'm not perfect. I do a lot of things to help me stay afloat. I do a lot of things to help me, and there's been some changes in my life. There's been some obstacles recently, but I just it's okay to not be okay, and find that it's okay to not be okay. I'm not okay right now. But I think that's something that I've realized is that doing life without a spotter is hard. It's hard. You learn to play it safe to keep yourself healthy, to keep yourself from getting hurt, from getting suffocated, think about lifting weights. I feel like that's like the best analogy is like when you're trying to grow your muscles and you push yourself and you have somebody there to spot you, you can push yourself because you know you got that spotter. But when you're doing life alone and you don't know what's going to happen if you push yourself, is that weight going to come crashing down on you and now you're just trapped under it? It's scary and it's terrifying. So it honestly is why I started my community, because I was like, dude, I know I'm not the only one that feels this way, and even though I can't carry the weight for them, I can't be that partnership to spot them that way. I know that we could at least help encourage each other, give us kind of a virtual spotting, like a virtual spotter. But anyways, I just wanted to be honest. I feel like I came out about the taking a step back from the engagement, and I was super positive and optimistic, and I'm still positive and optimistic, but I think the emotions of all of it kind of has hit. And that reminder as I'm back doing it alone, kind of as we try to build our autonomies and stuff, and I'm just like, man, this sucks and it's heavy and I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared to push. I'm scared to fail. And I know I'm not alone. And so I just want you to know you're not alone. So if you're watching this and you relate, we're not alone. We're not alone. And we'll get through it. And we can learn how to be our own spotters, and we can learn how to grow, and it might take a little bit longer, and we might have to be a little bit more consistent so that we can build the muscles slowly over time, but we can still do it. We can still do it. I believe in us. Do you believe in us? Because I believe in us. And I'm going to make myself work out today. And even if it's just going for a walk, I'm going to make myself work out today. And I know that other people right now are not doing the things that they know that they need to do to help them feel better. So if that's you, I want you to work out today. I want you to go for a walk. I want you to get some fresh air. I want you to go to the gym. I want you to do something. But move your body. So my mission for you, if you're listening to this, and you're relating to this is that we commit to each other that we're at least going to move our bodies today. Is that fair? If you related to this and this was helpful for you, feel free to share it, because I know that there's other single moms, divorced moms, dating moms, co-parenting moms, dads, dating dads, single dads that can relate to this feeling of like trying to do life without a spotter, trying to prove that I can do life without a spotter. Fuck. Well, let's get real about what's happening. Is like I'm constantly trying to prove I can do life without a spotter. And maybe I just don't want to. So I'm going to lean on my community, and I want you to reach out to your communities. If you want community, please join us at the Quitter Club. If you don't want to join us at the Quitter Club, that's okay, but find some people to reach out to. So work out, connect to some people today, and we're going to get through this, okay? All right. That's all. I'm going to go work out right now because I love you and I just told you I was going to do it, and I'm going to show up better for you than I do for myself sometimes, which is why people like community, is because we do tend to show up and hold commitments to other people better than we do to ourselves. So it's a great way to trick yourselves into doing the things that you need to do. So I told you that I'm going to work out today. So I'm going to end this episode, and I'm going to go work my butt out, even if it's just a walk. I'm just going to get my booty moving. All right. All right. I love you guys. I appreciate you. You're my favorite quitters. Let's quit habits that no longer serve us so we can level up our health, our habits, and our happiness. And that does not mean perfection. It does not mean perfection. It means progress. So if you are finding yourself in a lull, in a dip on your progress, it's okay. Allow yourself to feel it, allow yourself to heal it, and then do the things that you need to do to get back on track. All right. I love you. Have a great day.